Good afternoon, folks. Chase the Traveler again. This time I'm in a different city in Asunción. No. This time I'm in a different city in Paraguay called Mora. It's about maybe 20 minutes away from the capital. From what I hear, it's not as expensive. Not that Asunción is expensive. From what I hear, life is a little bit low-key over here. Rental prices are definitely very good. And I hear there's been a lot of development around here, but again, I haven't gone to the place where the development has taken off. The thing that I like about Paraguay is that everything is calm. People over here are not aggressive. They are extremely friendly. And honestly, I think the service over here is way better than what I had in Brazil. Security is way better too, from what I hear. I've said this before. These little streets are quite nice. Everything is nice and quiet. People aren't jumpy. People really aren't scared of you. They're not avoiding you. They're not really harassing you either. They don't make you feel uncomfortable that you're here. They're actually quite welcoming. You go to coffee shops over here, you don't feel like you have to leave after 10 minutes because you don't feel comfortable. I mean, I feel quite comfortable over here. Now again, I don't know if I'm going to stay, but I feel quite comfortable here. I feel like, I mean, the people aren't fake. They're not pretending to like me. And they definitely don't hate me. I don't feel like people don't like the fact that I'm here. Sometimes in Japan you get that feeling. They don't like the fact that you're there. In Brazil sometimes you get that feeling. Not as much as in Japan, of course. But over here, I kind of feel like people aren't bothered by my presence. I feel like if I'm walking around in a high-end neighborhood, people don't necessarily look at me like I don't belong there. You might get that feeling sometimes in America. You might get that feeling in Japan sometimes, not all the time. In Brazil, sometimes you might get that feeling too. Over here, I'm not getting it. I mean, the other day I went to see an apartment in a high-rise. That high-rise could have been about 40 floors high in Asunción. They were selling it for, get this, $105,000. That's smack in the middle of the city. I think it was on the 5th floor. And like I said, the property itself, or the inside of the property, looked better than some of the houses that I'd seen in Japan. So I would say I wouldn't feel that uncomfortable living there. I mean, honestly, the only time I felt uncomfortable here is sometimes when you walk through some of the neighborhoods that don't look as nice. But I don't feel that I have less comfort when I go into my Airbnb or when I go into certain places. Not at all. Honestly, I mean, to put things into perspective, of course, things are very affordable over here. Of course, if I were to teach English over here, I definitely wouldn't make the amount that I made when I first went to Japan. Probably wouldn't make the amount that they're paying people to teach in Japan right now. But if you can get some sort of passive income, or if you have about $20,000, $30,000 and you decided that, you know something, let me start something over here. That might work. And I honestly don't think you're going to get harassed by locals if you start a business over here. I just don't feel it. I don't get that vibe at all. I mean, in Japan, when you want to start a business, like I said, not only do you have to focus on your business, you have to focus on your surroundings. You got to make sure that the people in front of you, next to you, below you, are so busy that they can't focus on you. Over here, I think you can just straight up do your business without concentrating on what's next to you, what's above you, what's around you, etc., etc. Like I said, the people over here are not aggressive. Honestly, I think I like Villa Mora more than I like Asunción. I think I do. I just got here about 15 minutes ago. I think this is like some sort of dentistry. Hello. And the dogs, and honestly, I don't think there's a lot of crime. I mean, you have a Chihuahua guarding the house. I mean, if there was a lot of crime around here, you'd see bigger dogs. And those dogs didn't look like they were really taking too much pride in guarding the house. They didn't. You know, I'm kind of liking VMR. You know, there are a lot of houses that look like this. I've seen quite a bit with like this orange brick siding. You know, the roads again are not perfect. This guy's got a nice BMW inside his garage right there. Actually, 2 BMWs. Nice looking houses. They don't look too shabby at all. Streets are nice and quiet. You know, honestly, I kind of like this place more than I did Cuiabá, Brazil. And I guess this would be considered one of your upper income areas. I mean, the houses look pretty good, actually. I mean, the street doesn't look that good, but the houses actually look pretty nice. And I seriously doubt that anybody who's living on this street isn't living as well as people who are middle class in Japan. They're definitely living as well or even better. God, I've got something caught in my shoe here. Oops, sorry about that. I mean, I guess for those of you who want to make some calls, I wish they paid me for this advertising, but I'm not getting paid. You know, the only problem I see here that somebody wouldn't like is the street. It definitely needs work. I mean, obviously you would not see that in Japan. And the siding doesn't look good everywhere. But the people in this neighborhood are definitely not struggling. Especially the person that lives in this house right there. The people over here are definitely not lacking the essentials whatsoever. And I don't even think they're worried about their security. I mean, I don't see a lot of dogs out here protecting houses. Definitely do not. And the weather is also quite pleasant. For those of you that might be interested. I guess this piece of land over here is for sale. And I guess that's where you get your information. You know, if it sells in a week, I'll be very disappointed that I didn't get a cut out of that. I don't even know who that is or who's selling it. I mean, the person that lives in this house over here actually, look at that. It goes all the way over to the corner. And then I think this guy has the whole entire block. That's the thing about South America. You have your super rich. And I guess you have your well-to-do. But people over here are definitely not struggling. Most certainly not. And that's the beauty of it. I myself, I prefer going and seeing places like this because it gives you a realistic view of what life is really like for people over here. Instead of like showing up in the city and all of a sudden, this is the house that I was talking about that was pretty much all around, that took up one big block. Look at his that's his garden right there, surrounded by a brick wall. He has plenty of privacy, I can assure you. Man, that is a massive complex. In the States, this would be definitely a rich, very rich, super rich guy. Got a few nice cars in the front too. And the beauty of it is that, I guess since he's in Villa Mora, he doesn't have to worry about a big skyscraper, and he probably doesn't even have to worry about privacy. And, you know, again, this is something that you're going to see that people might not like. But I would say this guy is living way better than the people that have the same amount of money in Japan, or, you know, even in the States, because the property definitely didn't cost as much. I mean, look at these people over here, perfectly manicured. And I think this individual also probably has a block to himself. And this street is definitely nice. Again, the city isn't really doing what it's supposed to do, but the people living in the houses are definitely not struggling whatsoever. I mean, look at the gate here. I mean, I don't want to film as they're coming out, but most certainly, I'm pretty sure that that person right there is living a better lifestyle than us. I think that's a very important person, so I don't want them to think that I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do, so I won't film too hard. But this is definitely one of the best neighborhoods in Villa Mora that I just stumbled upon. And you know, Paraguay, again, definitely does not cease to amaze me. It definitely doesn't. And if you make it big here, you're definitely going to be living extremely well. And I definitely like the lifestyle. Again, you have a situation where, honestly, I didn't even know that this neighborhood was like this until I got here. This guy has his own private security in front of his house. Thank you. I'm telling you, Paraguay's got it. But unfortunately, I feel like, you know, I was in Brazil. I definitely like southern Brazil. I'm in Paraguay. Definitely like Paraguay more. So I feel like maybe the next place I visit is probably going to be even better. I mean, I was in Asunción, and I definitely like that. I'm in like a smaller city right now, and I feel like this place is definitely just as good. But it's only 25, 30 minutes away from Asunción, so it's like a suburb. You know, I'm enjoying it. So, folks, thank you very much for viewing Chase the Traveler. Everybody wants to say hello. Do me a favor. Please buy me a coffee. Do me a favor. Become a member. Members get videos that haven't been released yet. So that's a perk. If you want to consult with me about places that I have visited, especially Japan. A lot of you have consulted with me about Japan and how to move around and how to do certain things there. A lot of you have thanked me because I've saved you money on things you were about to do in Japan. Drop me an email. ChaseTheTraveler@gmail.com. Consult with me. I'm ready to help you.